Today we're going to be doing a walkthrough of Frostfire. So basically what I usually start out with is assessing the battlefield. So I'll basically go around the center. This is majority of the case if you're strong. If you're not strong, I don't recommend going to these level 3 mines. If you're like middle of the road, you can go level 2. You can still do very well with level 2s and level 1s even. But obviously you can get more mining the 3s. Now that's where all the whales are going to go, so you got to be careful. I always look for the mercenary little troops to kill. You want to get near a bunch of level 2s ideally, because you want to be able to teleport in and kill them right away. If you can't find an area with a bunch of 2s, try and get a bunch of 1s. At the same time, you also want to have several mines around you available. So when you're looking for a location to teleport, kind of look around the battlefield first before you just teleport in. Some people will stay where they're at initially and use and wait, I guess, basically for the free teleport to appear. That's fine also, but obviously you're not going to have first stab at where you go. If you teleport into an area where someone else is, generally speaking, if they're stronger than you, you'll probably end up having to move again. If they're weaker than you, most likely they will move. So you'll probably find out very quickly. Some of these tables you end up having a lot of people in. So like right now, this has 131 that ended up being in it. So you teleport in right away. And right away, I try and go and kill the robots, or the troops, I should say. And you're basically trying to get to as many of those level 2s at once, because you want to get your special buffs activated for Frostfire. I also send to 3 usually to start, sometimes 4, but I always leave 2 queues for killing the mercenaries. If you have some speed ups, obviously if you can speed up and take a couple of the level 2s, then you can get your activations going. For those activations, I always do right, left, and then right. Obviously, everyone has their own method on how they do it. Some people choose the last one for battle. I always choose for mining, and that way you can mine faster. And then once you have a bunch of them, you can send into a few more locations while still sending out and looking for mercenaries to kill. Also, at the same point, each time you take a building, you're going to want to go ahead and loot that building. And you can also loot everyone else's as they take them as well. The further they are from you, obviously, the harder it is to get the loot. Now, in this case, they weren't too quick to grab them, so I was able to get them. You can only send 1 at a time, though, which is a little annoying. So you have to kind of take your time and choose locations that are quicker. So if you have some next to you that you can get to first, I recommend obviously going to them first, get the loot, and then go to the further ones. Obviously, if you go to one where there's someone already heading and they beat you, you don't get that loot. Obviously, people around you are going to be looking for the same thing, so they'll most likely try and get the loot from your buildings as well. As you can see, there's always 3 things of loot around each building as you take it. A lot of times the whales, like you saw right there, will speed in and get the level 2s before you have a chance. Obviously, if you have some speed ups to use, great. If you don't, it's not worth wasting gems on it. Obviously, in some cases, if you're trying to go for a super high score, you may have to use a few just to get them before someone else hits them. But I just gained and activated a faster walk speed. So there's different skills that you can activate in this. Speed of walk, how much you actually collect from the buildings, how fast you collect from the buildings, and ultimately, like I mentioned, the speed of the collection and getting more from the building is obviously a plus. The trick here is you want to get those buffs as quickly as possible. So yes, you're going to continue gathering because you need those points. But at the same point, you're looking for the level 1s and level 2s to go hit so you can get your activations up. So, you want to get those skills activated as quickly as possible. that allows you a chance to activate that final skill just after you get your first level 1 veins. So in this case, I'm trying to look around and see for anything that might pop up, because a lot of times when these level 1 veins pop up, which as you can see is in about 50 seconds, those point, you usually pop up a bunch of little troops. You'll see a lot of 1s and 2s pop up that you can go and kill. So I'll kill just as many of those at the same time as the veins that I try and get as well. You want to do a little mixture of both. But ideally, the moment you see level 2s, go get them priority 1. Then send to those veins. Those veins will pop up all around you. Obviously, if you can get to them, great, because you can mine them fast and you get quick points on them. People will try and attack you, so if you are going to be attacked and you see that they're a bigger city, take back your troops, because you will get what you've collected at that point. If you lose, you will not get what you've collected, so it's best to pull out if you need to in order to get back to your city with the points. Each one refreshes, so each time it refreshes, you go to new veins, get those veins, and then go back. And again, you're still checking for the level 1s and level 2s, because I still have time. I need to get to that 2,300 points here. The more level 2s you can get, the quicker you get to those points. So that's why I said if you have some speed ups and you can go ahead and get in there, go for it. Gets faster, and then you get the more buffs faster as well. It kind of helps overall. This is an event that most people just play for the charms. I've learned over time if I want the center, I have to buff. So in this case, I did buff, but it's not worth it if you don't have the gems to do so. You don't need to. You can still score plenty of points and place really well without using 20% buffs. So once you've collected your last skill there, now at this point you can activate it. And you have a certain amount of time, so you have 50 seconds to send out your heroes to mine. And when you send them out, they will ultimately then mine faster. So you'll collect more over a period of time as well. So you're getting a lot more per second. So you send out as many as you can, try and get those 6 queues out. Make sure that whoever you're attacking, you think you can win. Otherwise, it's a waste, because you have to have this activated before you send out your farmers. Once they're sent out, you would have to bring it back and then resend it out again. So by doing this technique, you always stay at the top. So you're usually going to be in the top 3 to 4 positions. But now that that's activated, you'll see you'll fastly rise to the top position. And now, obviously, if you're being hit out of buildings, move to a new location, get a different setup, and resend out your troops. It's not worth constantly losing the buildings, because you're not going to get the mining values that you need in order to excel up your leaderboard. So at this point in the game, in the event, it's literally sit. So you're going to be sitting for the next 3 minutes here. And I will speed up here a little bit so we can get on to the next section. All right, so we're going to speed up here a bit. So as you can see, people are attacking me. I'm holding on to those positions, which is what you want to have happen. Ultimately, you need to score 150,000 minimum points in order to get the max rewards for playing. As you can see, we went right up to the first position, and this is pretty much guaranteed if you're not getting hit out of your mines and you do this order of how you're doing it. If you are finding that you're being hit out, like I said, find a new spot so you can get in there and farm. So as those mines collect, you want to send out right away and hit those mines again, because you're going to get first time collection bonuses on these mines because all of our buffs are now activated. So the moment your queue comes back, send it out. Now those new veins are going to be popping up, so you're not going to stay in these buildings. You're just going to collect and then leave. But you're going to want to loot them as well, so pay attention. But in the meanwhile, the rest of your queues go out to veins again. And like I said, these veins are very fast for mining, so you're getting high reward in a short period of time. Continue to loot, and then you'll be pulling out of these facilities that you're taking once they're taken and going back into these fast veins. So right away, see that one finished. We pop in, grab it, start looting it. You want to beat others because, like I said, you're getting a bonus for hitting and taking that building. So more veins will open, and we'll go ahead and send out to them and pull back our troops from the ones that we are now mining. And you know that you're in a building that you just took when it shows like 14 or 15 minutes. So when you're in a mine, or a vein, I should say, it'll only show about, 15 seconds, 30 seconds max. So anyways, as you're collecting from these, you're now going to get all the veins that you can, and then we will repeat. So basically the same thing will be done again. We're going to activate that buff for faster farming and more farming, and then resend out. So until then, we activate the veins. And then at the 7-minute mark, that's when the center opens. I like to get to the center first before I send out the rest of my queues to buildings. And I do that specifically because if I take center and you haven't healed in time, sometimes you'll get knocked out even if you are stronger. And then I like to put my gear onto my second string and send them in to try and take center at that point. So you don't want them out farming. So I try to rush in, grab the center when you can, and right away you see how there's a medical thing. It says 17 seconds till you heal. In these cases, I'm taking the hits and not losing it. And now I activate my gathering bonus and go ahead and send out to our 6 locations. Now, you'll find that some weaker folks will try and take some of these facilities up at the level 3s. Just hit them out. You don't even need a scout. Just send, if you notice it's a lower furnace, just send your squad and they'll knock them out. You'll always get some people that are mad about that, but it is what it is. You can't go into those buildings close by if you're not going to expect to be hit out. In this case, I'm holding really well against some of the strongest, mostly because of the fact that some of them don't have pets activated due to tundra, but we'll take advantage of that. So at this point, holding the center and then have all 6 of my queues out. And as you can see, there's a couple gathering locations that are down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And those are now closing and because I've mined the whole thing fast. So now you're going to go get the level 3 mines and kill the guards again. So you're going to start this process over. But unfortunately, our speed collection is gone at this point. So this will just be a regular send. Again, you're going to loot. In most cases, like I said, you'll have competition with looting. So you want to make sure you get through and get as many of the loot as possible because that's added points. And little people will pop in like that as well. Some people will scout before sending. I don't usually, I just send. Worst case scenario, they lose. It's not the end of the world. You can just send out a new queue. In this case, I didn't have to teleport anywhere else. I stayed right where I was the whole time. When the new veins are coming, a tip that I can say is sometimes people will teleport to a new location when the veins are getting ready to come, so they don't need to leave buildings. That'll collect right away if you teleport to a new location. So that's one thing you can do, or just recall and they get there and then you send them back out. So at this point, lots of attacks on center and I'm holding just fine and healing just fine. I usually at this point, I'll look at some of the reports and see what I'm up against and who I've won and send to some friends and people to look at. And it's always a good time when you win against some big whales. And really the trick for the center is you have to be obviously strong, but at the same point, that healer needs to heal up. So if a bunch of whales send at the same time to center and you don't have time to heal up, you'll get knocked out, even if you're stronger. So these are some of the rewards. Obviously, people mostly do it for the charms. That's the most important thing. They're decent rewards. They could be better. So at this point, there's only about 40 seconds left, and I'm holding it the whole time because of the fact that the person that would come in that's next strongest is actually pretty close to me in the points. So I don't want them to get too close to taking over first place. Gotta love when you hold off some meteorites coming in. And at this point, it's wrapping up. And we have first place victory. Sometimes we'll take a look at what the record was and how you compared to others before you close out of it. But that was a solid victory, very easy actually. And then you collect your gathering rewards, and like I said, you need to hit 150 for that. Thanks for watching and good luck with your battle.